Your CPU is on fire right now. Not literally, but without the right cooling, it might as well be. There are 6 ways to cool a PC. Most people only know 2. Let's fix that. Aftermarket air cooling. This is what happens when the basic cooler that came in the box just isn't cutting it anymore. The concept is simple. A large metal heatsink sits directly on your CPU, pulling heat away from it. Heat pipes carry that heat up through the metal fins, and 1 or 2 fans blast that heat out into your case. Think of it like a radiator on a car, except instead of cooling an engine, it's cooling the brain of your entire PC. The difference between a stock cooler and a good aftermarket air cooler is massive. We're talking about dropping temperatures by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius just by swapping one component. Brands like Noctua, Deepcool, and Be Quiet make towers that are so efficient they rival liquid cooling setups that cost 3 times as much. And here's what nobody tells you. A solid aftermarket air cooler beats a cheap AIO every single time. The marketing makes liquid cooling look superior. The data says otherwise. If you're gaming, streaming, or doing anything remotely demanding, aftermarket air cooling is the smartest money you'll spend on your build. Now we're stepping into sci-fi territory. AIO stands for all-in-one liquid cooling. And yes, there is actual liquid moving inside your PC. Here's how it works. A pump sits on top of your CPU and pushes coolant through tubes into a radiator. The radiator has fans that blow the heat out. The now cooled liquid loops back to the CPU and starts again. It's basically a tiny version of your car's cooling system living inside your computer. The result? Lower temperatures than most air coolers, cleaner aesthetics, and that satisfying RGB glow that makes your build look like it belongs in a spaceship. AIO coolers come in different radiator sizes, 240mm being the most popular. Bigger radiator means more surface area to dissipate heat, which means lower temperatures. The trade-off is real though. More components means more things that can go wrong. Air coolers don't leak. AIOs can. It's rare, but it happens. And when it does, your motherboard has a very bad day. For most gamers and content creators running mid to high-end CPUs, an AIO hits the sweet spot between performance, looks, and price. Just make sure you're buying quality. A cheap AIO is worse than a good air cooler. And that's not an opinion, that's physics. Custom water loops are for people who look at an AIO and think, cute, but I want full control. This is the most powerful and most complex cooling solution available for consumer PCs. You build the entire system yourself. Reservoir, pump, tubing, CPU block, GPU block, radiators, every single component is chosen and assembled by hand. Water flows from a reservoir, through your CPU, through your GPU if you want, and back to the radiator to cool down. The loop is completely customizable. Tube color, coolant color, routing, everything. The result is silence and performance that nothing else can match. A properly built custom loop keeps even the most powerful CPUs and GPUs running at temperatures that would make an AIO jealous. The downside is obvious. It's expensive, complicated, and one wrong fitting means liquid inside your case, and not in a good way. This isn't a beginner build. This is for enthusiasts who enjoy the process as much as the result. If you're the kind of person who watches build videos for fun, this is your endgame. No fans, no pumps, no noise. Passive cooling is exactly what it sounds like, pure silence. Heat naturally rises through large metal heat sinks and dissipates into the air without any moving parts whatsoever. Zero noise, zero vibration, zero things that can break or wear out over time. It sounds perfect, and for the right use case, it is. The catch? Passive cooling can only handle low-power components. Think home servers, mini PCs, network-attached storage, or systems running 24 hours a day doing light tasks. If you tried to passively cool a gaming CPU under full load, you'd end up with thermal throttling so severe your PC would perform worse than a smartphone. But for quiet, always-on machines that don't need to push performance, passive cooling is the monk of the PC world. Calm, silent, and completely stress-free. This is where things get genuinely bizarre. Immersion cooling means your PC components go underwater. Literally, the entire motherboard, CPU, GPU, everything gets submerged in a special non-conductive liquid. This liquid absorbs heat directly from every component simultaneously, far more efficiently than air ever could. Yes, it looks exactly like a fish tank. No, there are no fish. Yes, it actually works. The liquid doesn't conduct electricity, so nothing short circuits. Heat transfers out through the liquid into a radiator system, keeping everything cool even under extreme workloads. Companies use this for data centers, crypto mining operations, and server farms running non-stop at maximum load. The efficiency gains are enormous. For home use, it's technically possible. It's also extremely messy, expensive, and the kind of project that ends friendships when something goes wrong. But as a concept, it's one of the most fascinating cooling methods ever developed. Your PC literally living inside a liquid shell. And finally, the one where science decides to show off. Thermoelectric cooling uses something called a Peltier module. When electricity passes through this small plate, one side gets extremely cold, while the other side gets extremely hot. You attach the cold side to your CPU. Heat gets pulled away. Problem solved. In theory. In practice, thermoelectric cooling is one of the most difficult systems to balance in PC building. The hot side produces enormous amounts of heat that needs to go somewhere. If you don't manage it correctly, you're generating more heat than you're removing. It also consumes a significant amount of power just to run the cooling system itself. The same technology is used in portable mini-fridges and certain spacecraft components, which tells you everything. It works brilliantly in specific, controlled applications, but it's not something you casually drop into a gaming rig. For hardware enthusiasts and experimenters, it's a fascinating rabbit hole. For everyone else, it's a great way to spend a lot of money learning why air cooling exists. Here's what most people get wrong. They buy an AIO because it looks better, not because they need it. Marketing has convinced the PC building community that liquid cooling is automatically superior to air cooling. It isn't. A $60 Noctua air cooler outperforms an $80 AIO in real-world tests every time. The hierarchy is simple. A bad AIO loses to a good air cooler. A good AIO beats a good air cooler. A custom loop beats everything. Passive, immersion, and thermoelectric are for specific use cases only. Buy what your build actually needs, not what looks best in a YouTube thumbnail. Dead simple. Casual user or budget build, stock cooler or budget aftermarket air. Gaming or content creation, aftermarket air cooling. Best value every time. High-end CPU or overclocking, AIO 240 or 360mm. Enthusiast, no compromises, custom water loop. Silent, always-on, low-power machine, passive cooling. You work at a data center, immersion cooling. You enjoy complicated experiments, thermoelectric. Cooling is one of those things people either ignore completely or way overthink. The right answer is always the simplest one that handles your workload without going over budget. Your CPU doesn't care if it looks cool. It just needs to stay cool. Which cooling method are you running right now? Drop it in the comments. And if this helped you understand your options, subscribe. New video coming soon. See you there.